Welcome to day 2 of math. Now we are doing chapter 8 and we are doing 8.1 and 8.2 today. But before we start the chapter, I wanted to take a look at the wording of the chapter because this part seems hard and it seems like really difficult and crazy to figure out. But we actually know most of the words that they're using in chapter 8. Now we just need to apply them to fractions. So what am I talking about? Chapter 8's title is, or chapter 8.1, excuse me, is multiples of unit fractions. Now that seems kind of crazy, but if I asked you to do the multiples of 2, you would tell me, oh, Miss H, that's easy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Those are the multiples of 2. So we know that multiples means, and I'll actually do this in a different color so you can see. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's skip counting. That's what multiples is. Now what's a unit fraction? A unit is a single. So a unit fraction could be 1 over 2, 1 over 3, 1 over 5, 1 over 12. The thing they all have in common, and remember we learned this all the way in the beginning, and I think the beginning of chapter 7 or part of chapter 6. A unit is just 1. The thing they all have in common is the numerator. Numerator on the top, denominator bottom. So the numerator is 1. That's a unit. They're looking for the multiples of these unit fractions. So multiples of these units. So we're going to take a look at the first problem. And I'm actually going to do one, before we even do the first problem, I'm going to show you what I mean. So if I gave you the number, let's do 3 out of 8. We have 3/8 of something. And I asked you to turn it into a multiplication problem. That seems scary because we've never done multiplication with fractions, but in reality, it's really easy. We start with the unit. The unit fraction for eighths is 1/8. That's our unit because 8 is at the bottom and a unit is 1. So we start with 1/8. What times 1/8 gives me 3/8? 3. 3 times 1/8 gives me 3/8. When you multiply fractions by a whole number, 3 times 1 equals 3, and we put it over 8. So 3 times 1/8 makes 3/8. And remember, when we do multiplication, multiplication is repeated addition. So what we're actually saying is 3/8 is equal to 1 over 8, give me a second to write it down, 1 over 8 added 3 times. That's the same thing. 1 over 8 plus 1 over 8 plus 1 over 8 equals 3/8. So all we did is say 3 times 1/8 is 3/8. So now that we know that and we've made it super easy, super simple, we're going to now go into the word problems. And as long as we know we're working with a multiple, we know it's easy. As long as it's a multiple of unit fractions, it's easy peasy. So, at a pizza party, each pizza was cut into 6 equal slices. I'm going to write that down because that's important. At the end of the party, there was 5/6 of a pizza left. Okay, that seems important. Olivia put each of the leftover slices in its own freezer bag. So each slice, and we did this at our last class party. The last class party, I said, we're going to take some of these home, but we can't put them all in the same freezer bag. It'll be too heavy. So we're going to split them up and put 1 slice in one bag, 1 slice in one bag, 1 slice in one bag. Okay, how many bags did she use? What part of the pizza did she put in each bag? So I'm going to draw my pizza, just because I sometimes like to draw things as I look at them. Ooh, that's a horrible drawing. I'm going to redraw it so that it looks more equal. And remember, when I draw my fractions, they don't look exactly equal just because I'm not a computer. So I'm not the best drawer. Here's my pizza. I cut it into 6 slices. And I don't have all those slices left, so I'm gonna black out the one that's missing. So this is what's left of my pizza. So I have 6 equal slices in each pie, and 5/6 of a pie is left over. I did not finish my word. 5/6 of a pie is left over, and that's right at the bottom there. That's what's left over. And they want to know what part of the pizza is put into each bag and how many bags did she use. So we know what part of the pizza was put into each bag because each piece of pizza, which I'm going to color in all different colors so that you guys can kind of see it. Each piece of pizza gets its own bag. Each and every single piece of pizza gets its own bag. Let me see if I have any colors left over. I have pink. And the last one I'm going to use is brown. So, these colored pieces, these each represent what? They each represent a fraction. What does each colored piece represent? So first we count how many pieces were originally in the pizza. Let's take a look. I have an orange, a blue, a green, a pink, a brown, and then that black piece filled in. That's 6 slices. So that'll go at the bottom. The number 6 is the bottom of the fraction because that's how many there were originally. And each colored piece, each color represents what fraction? 1/6. So each one of these is a 6. This is 1/6, this is 1/6, this is 1/6, this is 1/6, 1/6, and 1/6. Each one of these, even the one that's missing, it's 1/6 is missing, all right? So it's asking how many bags do we need to fill in all these pizzas? Well, we don't need this one because this one's missing. This black piece is a missing piece. So let's circle the number of 1/6, the number of slices that are left, and that'll tell us how many bags we need. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 pieces of pizza. Each one has to go with its own bag, so we need 5 bags. She needs 5 Ziploc bags, 5 freezer bags to put these pizzas in so that each piece of pizza gets its own bag, so it's not touching anybody else's pizza. So if we were to write that as a multiplication equation, we would write it like this. We have 5/6, 5/6 left over. And we're going to write it as a multiplication equation. So I'm going to put 2 blanks. Blank times blank. This is what it would look like. 5/6 is what we have. We know that we need a certain amount of bags and that there's a unit fraction. So my unit fraction we figured out really quick. We figured out that it was 1/6 because that's our unit. We have 6 total pieces and just 1 goes in each bag. And how many bags do we need? Well, we have 5/6 and we're starting with 1/6. What times 1/6 makes 5/6? I will tell you that it is 5. So 5 bags, 5 total bags, times 1/6 a whole pie of pizza, 1/6 the whole pie, equals 5/6. So that's how we solve our first problem. And I will put the second problem in the next video so that if you need a little more help with it, you can figure it out by then. And maybe I will post a Khan Academy if I can find one for those who need a little bit more help.